Hi, I'm going to be reading chapter 4 now. Chapter 4 is called The Evening the Sitter Came. Oh, there's a babysitter coming. I wonder how it will go. Do you think Socks will have a good time, a bad time? Do you think the baby's going to cry? Let's find out. Mr. Bricker sang while he changed Charles William's diaper. Feed the baby garlic so we'll find him in the dark. Oh, a boy's best friend is his mother. There's a little wheel a turning in my heart, sang Mrs. Bricker as she folded diapers. Life was easier for the young parents. Charles William, who now ate some baby food like egg yolks, vegetables, and strained meat, could sleep through the night without a bottle at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's a good thing when the baby can sleep through the night. Socks, not so fortunate, still woke up at 2 o'clock expecting formula to be poured into his bowl. He felt cheated by the diet meals that his owners served him now. After his small, healthy breakfast, he was allowed to sit beside the refrigerator all day without an offer of a bite to eat. He waited for food to be left on the counter so he could steal it, but his owners were too smart for him. Socks was stuck with catching and eating moths. Bummer. The Brickers not only refused to give Socks all he wanted to eat, they insisted that he exercise. Mr. Bricker tied a bit of plastic wrap at the end of a string and dragged it around the carpet for Socks to chase. Come on, cat, he said. You still have some fat to work off. After a few turns around the room, Socks, breathing heavily, found lying down easier than playing. The empty feeling in his middle sharpened Socks's hunting instincts. He stalked Mrs. Bricker's furry bedroom slippers until she caught him and shut them away in the closet. He crouched, waggled his rump, and pounced on the brown corduroy bear when Charles William shoved it out of his crib. He carried it around in his mouth until Charles William set up such a howl that Mrs. Bricker rescued the bear and returned it to its owner. Bad Socks, she scolded. You leave Brown Bear alone. Socks gave her a cold look. Couldn't she see? He was not bad. He was hungry. Late in the afternoon was hardest for Socks, for then Mrs. Bricker sat on the couch holding Charles William, draped in a diaper to catch spills, and spooned cereal, strained meat, vegetables, and applesauce from cups into his messy mouth. See the kitty, she said, as Socks watched hungrily. See the fat kitty. The fat kitty did not care about cereal, vegetables, and applesauce, but he wanted the baby's meat. However, he knew how to get even. He walked to the front door and meowed. Socks now had Mrs. Bricker at a disadvantage. Both her hands and her lap were occupied. That means they were busy, and she did not know whether her cat merely wanted to go out or whether he needed to. Socks meowed a second time. Oh, wow, what a smart cat. This one goes outside to use the bathroom. So does he want to go outside or does he need to go outside? Oh, Socks, said Mrs. Bricker with a sigh. Do you have to? Socks meowed a third time, and as he knew she would, Mrs. Bricker set the custard cup she was holding on the coffee table, carried Charles William, who fussed, across the room and opened the door. Socks, she said, we love you, but you are getting to be a nuisance, a big nuisance. Is she happy to be getting up and doing that? And feeding the cat and taking the cat out and the cat bothering them all the time? Or is it bothering them? She doesn't like it that much, does she? That's what you would call a nuisance, something that annoys you or bugs you. So a big nuisance. When Socks took his time walking through the door, she gave his tail a little push with her toe and shut the door behind him. Socks was determined to fill the empty feeling in his stomach. He leaped the fence and meowed pitifully at the neighbor's back door. Meow, meow, because the back door was closest to the refrigerator. When the old woman who lived there opened the door, Socks lifted his nose and breathed in the fragrance of stew simmering on the stove. Mrs. Bricker, take a big whiff. Mrs. Bricker had not cooked anything that smelled this good since Charles William had arrived. Now, Socks, you old faker, don't you come begging around here. The neighbor was kind, but she meant what she said. You can't tell me you haven't had anything to eat, because I know better. As she spoke, she tossed a handful of peanuts onto the grass for the birds that came swooping down from the roof. Socks hated blue jays, noisy, yammering birds that dived at him every chance they got. While the blue jays were busy picking up peanuts and storing them under the roof of the Bricker's house, Socks sneaked across his own yard to the house on the other side. Unfortunately, Tiffy opened the door to his meow, but Socks took a chance and rubbed against her legs. Charm was often helpful. Mommy! Socks likes me! Shrieked Tiffy. Lucky you, answered her mother from another room. Socks led the way to the refrigerator. Mommy, Socks is hungry, Tiffy called out. Don't let that cat fool you, her mother called back. Can I feed him? Sure, go ahead, said Tiffy's mother. Ooh, lucky Socks. Juices ran in Socks's mouth. As Tiffy pulled open the white door, she took out a plastic pitcher, poured something in a cup, and set it on the floor. There you are, Socksy, she said tenderly. Nice Hawaiian punch. One whiff was enough. Socks gave Tiffy a look of reproach, like, how dare you? How could she disappoint him like this? Trixie squatted next to him. Try it, Socksy, you'll like it, she coaxed. How do you know you won't like it if you don't try it? Socks's answer was a long look at the refrigerator. Tiffy got the idea. This time, she offered him leftover chocolate pudding, which he also did not like. Obviously, this house had nothing fit for a cat to eat. He walked to the back door and asked to go back out. These people were not worth bothering with. Tiffy, who was eager to do something to please the cat, opened the door. Bye, Socksy, she said, in a voice sad with disappointment. Socks walked out with his tail up high and quirked at the tip like a question mark. Oops. Where could Socks beg next? Cars and dogs made the territory in front of the house dangerous. The evil blue jays were now finding the peanuts again and wrapping them on the roof to crack them. The sight of the black cat sunning himself on the back fence was discouraging too. Socks slunk home and let himself in through an open window. As his paws hit the floor, there came a sound he had not heard since the arrival of Charles William. The sound of Mrs. Bricker tapping down the hall in her going out for the evening shoes. Instantly he was alert for the answers to two important questions. Would he be fed before his owners left? And would he be shut inside or outside the house? Meow! Socks half purred and half meowed as he rubbed against the legs of Mr. Bricker, who was sitting on the bed tying his fancy shoes. Mr. Bricker responded by rubbing his cat's head roughly and affectionately, but he made no move in the direction of the fridge. Let's see, I think one more page. Mrs. Bricker tapped down the hall into the bedroom with Charles William in her arms. "Is our big boy going to miss his mommy and daddy?" she asked. "Meow," begged Socks at his most charming. "Meow." "Yes," said Mrs. Bricker, "the kitty's talking to the baby." She was wrong. Socks was not talking to the baby. He never talked to the baby. "Do you think Miss Charles William will mind our going out?" the young mother asked anxiously, as Charles William grabbed a handful of her long hair. "He's beginning to understand so many things." "If he does mind, he'll have to get used to the idea," said Mr. Bricker. "Mom said we were supposed to spend the check she sent on a babysitter and an evening out. You need to get out once in a while, and the world is full of babies who have survived an evening with a babysitter." "Meow." A cat needed attention too. "All right, Socks, you old beggar," said Mr. Bricker. "Let's feed you and get you out of the way." Socks's victory was small, 4 pieces of meat, and while he was gulping them down, the doorbell rang. The sound always upset him, but curiosity forced him to investigate.